So check this out. Last year, I got a check for streaming royalties on one song that was over $24,000. Many musicians still have the idea in their head that music streaming has killed the ability for musicians and writers to make a living off their songs. Now, for a while, this may have been partially true, but I'm here to tell you today that it is in fact the opposite. That one song last year made me $24K, and the good news is, as long as streaming exists, I'm gonna keep making money off of it forever. Let me tell you how in this video. So, a little backstory. I'm a producer and a songwriter. This is a critical advantage in 2021 over being just a songwriter. Being a producer means I help artists create masters to release, in addition to helping them write the songs. In the past few years, me and my team have pioneered a unique business model where we can work with up-and-coming artists who wouldn't be able to afford to work with us at our full rates. And as a result, we have a share in the master royalties. It's like we have a partial master ownership in some cases. Now, this is a key distinction that so many out there are getting smart and they're figuring it out. What this essentially means is that the master is king. And record labels know this. They're making money hand over fist. And sometimes it's even while the artists are starving. The smart artists are figuring it out, and they've wised up to this fact, and they're negotiating different types of deals with labels, or in many cases, even choosing to do things independently, and they own the master. This is the new music business, and I am so excited that that's even a reality. So, a few years ago, one such artist came to me and asked me to work with her on her music. Now, I'm not going to give you her real name for the sake of privacy, but let's just call her Susie Sue. Susie had a lot of the raw materials that make a great artist. She just didn't have the big national brand yet. She didn't have the following yet. Now, normally, I wouldn't work with such artists, being where I am in my career, but I got the idea with my manager, Carter, to just give it a shot. And what if we didn't charge anything on the front end for producing the master? And we made our money kind of on the back end on royalties. It's a little bit more of an entrepreneurial mindset, more of a long-term mindset. This is something I call adopting an investor mentality. It's more like being a farmer than a hunter, where you're planting seeds that will hopefully sprout and grow and make you a lot more money in the long run than just getting paid a fee for your work. Now, before you start emailing me and saying, I'm an awesome artist, will you give me the same deal and work with me for free? The answer is 99% of the time, probably not. There have to be some other things going on before I agree to sign up for these kinds of deals. I've got to know that there's a return on my time spent. But that's a whole nother video for another day. Now, back to Susie Sue. I did 5 songs with her, and the first 4 didn't really do much of anything. But then, boom, the 5th one caught fire on TikTok, and as a result, blew up her following and drove up her Spotify listening immensely. And before I knew it, that song had amassed close to 10 million streams across the digital platforms, mainly Spotify and Apple Music, because it's in the US. So the question that you're asking is, how much does that actually equate for the master owners, which in this case, it was me and the artist. And what about for the songwriters? A good rule of thumb is 1 million streams equals about $5,000. It's not exactly that, but it's close. So fast forward to the end of last year, and that 10 million streams equated to almost 50K for the master owners. Hence, me getting a check for almost 25K for that one song. Now that's the power of doing things independently and owning your masters, and the power of what the trend of music streaming has done for musicians and producers. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on the songwriting side, but a rule of thumb is that 1 million streams equals about $750 in royalties to be split among the writers. So yes, it does take longer to make a lot of money off of streams as a songwriter. But we can go into that on another video. Here's what I'd say. All of this sounds easy, but we had to put out 4 other songs that didn't do nearly as well to get the one that blew up. So the big takeaway is, well, there's 2 big takeaways. Number 1, you don't have to have a Billboard #1 mega hit to make decent money in music in 2021. 10 million streams is pretty good for an indie artist, but it's not anything huge compared to some of the other tunes out there, even compared to some of the other tunes that I've been a part of that are in the billion streams range. I picked this song as an example to show you that even at an indie up-and-comer level, there is still money to be made off of your music. And takeaway number 2, you never know which song is going to be the rainmaker for you. You probably think you know, but you don't. Your gut instinct isn't enough. It's always what the fans say that determines whether a song becomes a hit or not. It's not your choice, it's the market's choice. So before you go spending all of your money pushing and marketing one song, I'd urge you to rethink your strategy and think about quantity. Think cheap and indie and grassroots, like a startup entrepreneur. If you've only got $10,000 to spend, I'd rather you stretch that $10,000 to get 5 songs produced and use the rest of your budget for marketing them. It'll help you stay on the radar longer and be putting out more music and content more often, and really that is the key nowadays. If you put it out and then if it catches fire, you invest more into that song, meaning if you get a big royalty check from a song, a good thing that you could do might be to reinvest it into a marketing or PR campaign that takes that song to the next level and just keeps growing the streams and keeps growing the momentum. I'm so excited to be a music maker in 2021. It is hard as ever to break in with so much new music coming out every day, but it's also more possible than ever for indies to do it. So this story of this one song last year is a difference between me getting paid my usual $10,000 a song to produce a song and getting that $24,000 check for that same service for that same one song. As always, if you love this video, hit that like and subscribe button. We've got plenty more where this came from.